going to try to make this short tape and just I've start giving background on a tape, and it's 10 minutes, and before I'm halfway through, I haven't got enough on there to get to the point. The point is that the United States used my Uncle George VI, who's illegal, and Elizabeth has always known she's using my money and being protected behind the walls when she should be in prison, and that whole group, her whole family. Charles is part of the New World Order. She is. The very people that kidnapped me. Roosevelt appointed Kennedy ambassador to England during that time. It was a forced abdication of my father, Edward VIII, who was never married to Wallace Simpson. A double did. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe Windsor, sister to American artist Georgia O'Keeffe. I was brought over here. I was kidnapped. There was an addendum to it, just like my divorce. If you get into all this, it has links that you wonder who really put it together. I mean, way back. I don't know if the CIA and the FBI and MK Ultra has that. I don't know. But they kidnapped me and put a 99-year seal and had my father marrying a woman that he never married. He was married to a beautiful lady, my mom, a school teacher, and my aunt's an artist, Georgia O'Keeffe. Now, they brought me over here and gave me the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers. I still have to use that. I'm just showing Carl. Both of them were killed. His birth certificate. Even the dates were changed on the birth certificate, which is illegal in itself. The state of Alabama sent me. This is me in 41. I just got these photographs, all my photographs. This is Lina Dempsey, the psychopath, and yes, she was diagnosed as a psychopath. She killed her twins, and she would have forced the face the death penalty. When I wrote the book, I didn't know about being kidnapped. I was writing about mind control murders. I'd worked for a doctor who put a chip in. He was head of a corporation. And I was writing about these murders that were done in patterns. And prior, I knew the murders were happening. I didn't know the mechanism used. So anyway, when I started trying to get the book published, I put some about myself in it, and unknowing that I had been kidnapped. And then she was always, you can't know the hell that this family, and especially her, put me through, the abuse. But this is a picture of me. This is my kids, Mark and Scott, my sons. Heirs after me. This is one of the mind control murders. I said Mark and Scott, and then I was brought over here and given the name of twin Peggy Ann Dempsey, Childers. This is Gabby Gifford. Tucson, Arizona shootings, and her husband is a twin, Mark Kelly, astronaut, twin to Scott Kelly, astronaut. Goes back to, how do you think Huntsville and Redstone Arsenal was there? That's the command center there. That NASA started with my money, and the United States says they don't pay ransom, that you're collected it all my life. I'm still a hostage, and so is Great Britain. So now the only thing, this is my father, the forced down, and there's a seal on it. It's illegal, the forced abdication. This woman should be before world court for war crimes, along with a lot of other people. She and the very people, the Jews, the Illuminati, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, the Kennedy clan, they control that's in the Netherlands. And here's what I wanted to say, too. When the United States, my uncle helped steal from my father, force it, and kidnap me, seal put on it, and he had, he signed treaties. All the treaties are illegal since then, so all you have to do is go back and look at all these treaties that allowed the United States to take over Britain and the world, a global takeover, by using us. And all the treaties that came to be, like the United Nations was formed, I don't have to go into the Jews became a nation, Israel, using me as hostage and taking down my father, the real king. It's illegal. But the United States, they used Great Britain, the United Kingdom, as a launching pad. All you have to do is look around you. You don't really care. The special bond between the UK and the United States was the fact that you kidnapped the monarch, me, inserted your own so-called illegal monarch, and proceeded to take down the United Kingdom, the Brits. And what a joke. April Fool's Day, you put antifreeze in me, and I should have died. It's just one day out of my life and my parents' life who loved me. And now I'm going to forget my point here, other than when you put your bases, and this is what Elizabeth has always known, and this is what her father, George, and her mother was kin to the Jews, the Rothschilds, So that was an end, and the illegal treaties. But they were allowed, the United States was allowed to put its military bases. This is about the time they kidnapped me, right after, I believe, next year. And the Kennedys, he was ambassador and all that. They helped him at kidnapping. But when they put their bases all over Great Britain, it held the rest of my family who were monarch, Netherlands. I don't know, later she became a part of the New World Order with Elizabeth, and that's where the World Court is. Beatrix, and I think her son is the king there now. But the ones that I don't think that sold me out or my country or sold out the world, I don't think Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. Those are monarch, and they are the same relation to me they are to Elizabeth. But they were held hostage. So, and part of it was getting Africa, South Africa, the United States. And look at all they've gone in, and they go in as friends. My God, none of this has ever been told. And the beheading. You talk about the beheadings. You go back and what's happened to me. A Jew, I was taken there right after my sons were born. And this is a background check wouldn't show any of what they did to my sons, to me. It's been an ongoing hell. This Jew doctor, Hyman Miller in Huntsville, it was diagnosed as murder. What was wrong with me, I later found out, is I have I'm allergic to chemicals. This has nothing to do with a chemical disorder, schizophrenia, or any of that. But he misdiagnosed me deliberately. He gave me shock after shock. He and Berg, the anesthesiologist, who was a Jew. So he always knew who I am. I look back at it, and I'm going to put this woman's name on there. Psychiatrists rape their patients. This is part of what I was writing about in the book Murder and Mind Control and Rape of Patients. He raped, and I hope I don't hurt her. She came to me one day. This is after the Kennedy and while I worked at the health spa back then, Cosmopolitan in Huntsville. She said she knew I had gone to Hyman Miller, the psychiatrist, killer, Jew, and she explained to me what he had done. She says, has he ever done that to you? Because she said, I know he raped me. Well, I can tell her that he did rape her. So I don't know what happened to Peggy Ferguson Lauderdale. I questioned after I found out about my kidnapping. I look back at her. She was from Athens, Alabama, and married a man that was a friend of my husband's that worked at in the space industry, NASA at Huntsville. I don't know what happened to her, but I'll go from there. And this has all been allowed to happen to me, and the diagnosis, I'm allergic to chemicals, has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the trauma that happened to me when they kidnapped me. And when I get around chemicals, toxic, it causes my immune system to react and attack itself. And it can be disastrous if you're force-fed toxic fumes. So they have gone with this, the agencies in this country, even after I wrote the book, was flown out to Flint. Look at the things that would happen to Larry Flint, because he told the truth. And then this family in Moulton that knew about my kidnapping.